Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to talk about the school of philosophy called existentialism. This school of philosophy got started long back. It was in 19th century, that is by Soren Kierkegaard, and it was Soren Kierkegaard and Friedrich Nietzsche and Dostoevsky who has started. And then later on in 20th century, it was Gabriel Marcel, Paul Tillich, Albert Camus, Jean-Paul Sartre, and Martin Heidegger, who has again extended this particular concept through their literary work. And I'm so excited to talk on this because this is a topic which is also meant into the contemporary world. We see a lot of students and a lot of executives, they do suffer from a lot of stress and strain. And generally it is being seen that men at the age of 40, they do suffer from existential crisis, or that is also called as an angst in their day-to-day existence. And we generally find that what is there in my life now at the age of 40 or even at 50 that I have already lived my life. And many people after retirement, post-retirement at 60, 65, they tend to lose their mental health, and mental well-being is much spoken about. And it is very important that human beings pursue some kind of a meaning in their life. And without meaning, people tend to get diseased, and they get away from ease. And disease is disease, no? Disease, that is D-S, that we don't have ease in our life. We don't have peace in our life. And life is not only having physical health, it is of course having a good mental health. And there come having a lot of meaning. It is being seen that people have enough means to live for, but people do not have enough meaning to live for. And it was Jean-Paul Sartre who said that existence precedes essence. We are all thrown into this world. Even it was echoed by Martin Heidegger. And we need to find our own self. We need to really create meaning out of our absurd living. And we carve our own life. And it is really dynamic and it is adventurous. And I think there comes real life. We all try to find meaning in our life. I have personally gone through a lot of meaninglessness. I was in corporate and I was an executive. I was into sales. I was into business development. And when I was to take my suitcase and visit my dealers, I was to find that what the hell am I doing with my life? Because life is a mass of nonsense. Can I create sense out of nonsense? And so it is something which is very personal. And that is the reason I'm trying to really create a video. And definitely this particular video is going to help for the UPSC aspirants. And existentialism is in paper one. I'm definitely sure this is going to really help them also. And in future, I'm going to create more videos on paper one and paper two of philosophy optional subject. I've done my master's in philosophy and then my MPhil in philosophy and PhD in philosophy from Pune University. For last almost 15 years, I'm researching on philosophy, teaching philosophy. Philosophy is my passion. It is my mission. And I have a lot of plans to really make philosophy and spread it among a lot of people who are really interested. And it is really mind-blowing concepts up there. So let's focus on existentialism. When you say existence precedes essence, it is very practical that one has to really find meaning, which is very contrary to what Aristotle and Aquinas has talked about, where they talked about essence precedes existence, that we have certain essence, we are all born with certain kind of an essence, and one has to really nurture it. Probably we can say that nature versus nurture or nurture versus nature, that is sometimes spoken about. Now, it was Albert Camus who has written a philosophical essay called The Myth of Sisyphus. Sisyphus is a mythological figure in Greece, and he was being condemned to take a boulder and keep it up, or take it up to the mountain, top of the mountain. And of course, it's a boulder, it is heavy, it always comes down. And again, he has to take it up and it goes on and on. Probably you can equate this with our own life, that we go to office and then come home. And again, we have to go to office next day and we're all tired. But we know that we have Monday blues. And maybe on Monday, we're waiting for Friday. And that means we are doing it because we have to do it, not we want to do it. And that is the reason we have heartaches and heartburns and cholesterol and diabetes. We have a lot of lifestyle problem because of meaninglessness in our life. And that becomes a dread. And At times, when you go on or go through this for a long time, for a number of years, then it becomes a despair, and as a like that there is no hope, and we find that there is hopelessness and what to do. But existentially says that we have something in that particular point of time where we can choose our own action and we can choose our own way of our living, and there comes our own way of exercising our free will, where we can take our action, because man is responsible for whatever he does, and man can create his destiny. It's your decisions that creates our destiny. And man at any point of time can choose his actions and his thinking. And everything is being created twice, first in the mind and then in the reality. There are a couple of words which we'll visit to really understand some of the important tenets of existentialism. One of the important words is called facticity. Now, facticity is something which we don't have much of control, and it is written on stone. Like, we're born in certain geography, we have certain height, we're all born in certain parents, and we're all born like that. We cannot choose anything. But definitely, that, if you think in these terms, these are all a limitation to our freedom. But despite all these factors, you can come out of that, and you can choose, and you can make a colossal empire out of the rags. And there lies our exercising our own freedom, and then courage to be whatever you want to be. So that is facticity. Authenticity, I believe, is something which is lacking, and majority of the angst or anguish and anxiety we have is because of non-authentic living. And it is also very difficult to have an authentic living, because we tend to follow certain norms, we tend to follow certain kind of things that has been already established, and we find a lot of convenience in that. But once we have the courage to be whatever we want to be, then you are actually living an authentic life. Initially, it can be very, very troublesome. And after some time, we'll find that, yes, we are actually enjoying the freedom, because freedom has to be earned. And then we get the responsibility. Otherwise, we get into a herd mentality, which is called as bher chal. So authenticity is trying to listen to the calling that I am meant for and following that path. And that really makes sense. So we are talking about authenticity, you're talking about facticity. Then we talk about absurd, and that was given by Albert Camus. That is myth of Sisyphus I was talking about. And so if Sisyphus has to really carry the boulder again and again, then probably one can say that the only way that can justify and come out of absurd is to commit suicide. But that is not the point. The point is to revolt against this absurd dimension of life, and again make my life as the way I want, which is again relevant, and which is really which goes with the self norm and also norms of the society. Now, Albert Camus says that this absurdism is basically a juxtaposition between ourselves and the world that is outside, which is silent. And once we are able to really make a kind of a point where we're able to really come out of this juxtaposition and make a living as per my way, and actually that makes a lot of differences. So, and then next concept we talk about is bad faith. Bad faith is again given as something that we know that something has to be done, but we fall into certain kind of a rut. We fall into certain kind of a rotation that we are already into it. It was Simon de Beauvoir who said that there are a lot of factors that doesn't allow us to really come out of certain situation. Is a sedimentation, and we tend to get sedimented. Certain things gets precipitated, and we start enjoying that precipitation. We become quite strong in that particular dimension, and we don't have that courage to come out. But definitely, existentialists will always say that, yes, we have a freedom to choose and come out of that sedimentation. It is, again, a self-referral system. And again, Sartre also talks about two concepts called being in itself and being for itself, or thing in itself. Thing in itself is as things are, as they are. And in being an nothingness. Sartre was giving the example of a waiter, and a waiter, of course, nothing wrong being a waiter. Every job, every work is fine. But people do grow in their life. People do grow in their own career. But if a person is there, which is where the job is monotonous, which the job is dreadful, then the waiter remains as a waiter. He doesn't grow. He doesn't get promoted, and he remains as it is. But same happens with people who are stuck in their career and they're not taking any kind of a chance in terms of proaction to really come out and really grow. That is think in itself. And think for itself is something that we can transcendent our existing position and do something better. And that makes sense. Some of the movies, if you see, like the Blade Runner, then the Matrix, Ghost in the Shell, Waking Life. I mean, Waking Life is a wonderful movie. I've seen a number of times. Then the Fight Club, the Taxi Driver, even the Hindi movie called Tamasha, they have a lot of element of existentialism. And the more we read about this existential philosophy, we find that this has a lot of relevance in our life, and one can choose to be whatever one wants to be, because whatever a person can conceive and perceive, a person can achieve that. So keep reading on existential philosophy. You will find that your life can change, and it is really motivating. Thank you.